Next time you're bracing for a long-haul flight, spare a thought for Robert Tim and John Cook. In 1958 to 1959, the two pilots set the record for the world's longest ever flight when they flew non-stop for 64 days, 22 hours. The Cessna 172 Skyhawk is a four-seat, high-wing, single-engine aircraft made in the United States. Robert Elgin Tim was born on March 8, 1926, in Nora Springs, Iowa. During World War II, he served as a bomber pilot. However, fate took him to the Hacienda Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas to work as a slot machine mechanic. When the Hacienda's owner, Warren Bailey, asked his employees for ideas on how to advertise the hotel, Tim suggested an endurance flight. They could paint Hacienda Hotel on the side of an aircraft, and news reports of the record attempt would automatically attract publicity for the resort. Bailey was enthusiastic and provided $1 lakh on support. Tim decided early on to replace the engine. He contacted Continental Motors and told them about the plans for the long flight. He asked if they would provide a special engine, and they agreed. The modifications included removing all furnishings except for the pilot's seat. They put in a foam mattress and storage for food, water, and other supplies. They added a small stainless steel sink for washing in the aft of the plane. Yet another modification was to replace the co-pilot's door with a folding door and a small platform or step to make it easier to bring supplies on board. That left the question of fuel. Tim and Cook installed a 95-gallon belly tank. Initially, Tim and Cook considered using air refueling from other aircraft, but ultimately decided that would be too expensive and complicated. So instead, they chose to rely on a ground-to-air system. For this, they fitted a truck with a fuel reservoir, a fuel pump, and a hose. The pilots would lower a winch from the Cessna to grab the hose and pull it up to a connection on the belly tank. The pump would fill the belly tank in about 3 minutes. 265-room Hacienda, which was the first family-oriented hotel casino in Las Vegas, at the far southern end of the Las Vegas Strip. Tim and Cook took off from Harry Reid International Airport in Las Vegas on the 4th of December 1958. They mostly stayed over open desert areas between Las Vegas and Blythe, California, during the flight. The flight went smoothly at the beginning, and the pair spent Christmas Day in the air. Each time they refueled over a stretch of very straight road along the California-Arizona border, they would also get supplies and food. Bathroom breaks happened on a foldable camp toilet, and the resulting plastic bags were later thrown out over the desert. The two would take turns sleeping, although the incessant engine noise and the aerodynamic vibrations made a restful night impossible. As a result of sleep deprivation, on day 36, Tim dozed off at the controls, and the plane flew by itself for over an hour, at an altitude of just 4,000 feet. The autopilot had saved their lives, although it would stop working completely just a few days later. However, the two remained in the air and continued to move as long as possible to ensure that their new record would be impossible to break. They lasted another 15 days before finally landing at McCarran on February 7, 1959, after flying non-stop for more than 2 months and covering 41401 miles. When the record of 64 days, 22 hours, and 19 minutes was completed, the aircraft was almost incapable of flying due to lack of maintenance. Both the engine performance had deteriorated, and the safety risk was increasingly rising. As a result, the two pilots decided to land after breaking the record and successfully completed the landing. Today, this flight is still remembered as a unique achievement in aviation history and is considered a record requiring extreme endurance. Despite the flight's success, the promotion for the Hacienda didn't turn out as planned. Newspapers, smelling a publicity stunt, only began reporting on the flight after they'd been flying for 30 days. Even when they did, they declined to mention the name of the hotel. More than 60 years later, the flight of the Cessna 172 remains a legendary achievement in aviation. The record set by Tim and Cook still stands, and the story of their remarkable endurance flight continues to inspire pilots and aviation enthusiasts around the world.